My name is Chris Griffith. I'm the program manager for Family Life Counseling Services here at CAP. I remember as a young person, I'd heard of Christian Appalachian Project. I hadn't ever participated in any of the services, or I didn't know anybody that worked here, but I knew of CAP. I knew it was a good organization. I knew that it did good work in the community, was well respected, but I didn't have a direct contact with the organization until I was in college. So when I was in college at Eastern Kentucky University, and this was in the mid-90s, was in a professional counseling education master's program, and I had a friend and a mentor who was a non-traditional student who was older than me. I was a traditional student. He was a mentor and was always good to me and gave me opportunities and various things within that program. And when he graduated with his degree, he came to work for CAP as a counselor over here in what is now our Sandy Valley area. So I knew about that from him. And then when it came time for me to do my practicum and internship towards the end of my master's program, I asked if I could come to CAP to do that. That was my first real connection to the organization, was doing my practicum and internship here at CAP. And it was a great experience, and everybody that I met was incredible, and the work was incredible, the mission was incredible. And I thought, man, this is great. I remember in graduate school being told, in a perfect world, this is how you would do your job as a mental health professional. You would serve people where they are. You would give them the time that they need. You would put a lot of things out of the way that they may need, or that they get in the way of services, and just meet people where they are in a complete way. And then the caveat was, but there's no such thing as a perfect world. You're going to have to attend to all these other barriers and obstacles, and it's your job to navigate all those things. Well, luckily for me, after my former mentor who worked at CAP moved up into another position, it left his position open. And I interviewed, and thankfully, back in the end of 1996, I was hired. And I discovered that there's no perfect world. This is as close as we're ever going to get to it working for CAP as far as my profession goes as a mental health counselor. The majority of the barriers that are there in other organizations are not there here. And we can truly meet people where they are. We can attend to their needs with very few of the barriers and obstacles that might be present with other organizations, not to diminish their work, but we have the freedom and the ability to serve people in a very thorough and complete way. So I found my perfect world here at CAP, and I've been here ever since. I think that people are drawn to CAP because of our mission, because of the nature of the work that we do. People feel like there are a lot of people at CAP that could go elsewhere and do other things, but they love CAP because they know that CAP is out with people that are in greatest need, and so it's like they want to go to where the greatest need is, and they want to be of service to those people. And for most of us, that's part of our faith experience. We get to act out our faith through our work in a very, very direct way. We have and have had for many years exceptional leadership that are very focused on our employees and volunteers. They take good care of us. They're concerned about us. They show it. They don't just say it. They're engaged with us, and we feel very supported through all the levels of our supervision. I know for me as a leader and as a manager of my particular program here at CAP, my evaluations are based almost, not entirely, but almost entirely on how well I'm serving, how well I'm building and growing and taking care of our staff here. So we take it very seriously. And then I think the other thing that springs to mind is our culture at CAP, at our organization. CAP is very mindful of having a culture that is focused on mission, that is focused on service, that's focused on people, expressing their faith through what they do and our ability to serve people. I tell my new employees, this is maybe the golden age, or probably the second golden age of CAP, is the way I've been describing it. There was a time when CAP first started that any organization, when they first start, there's that energy and that special sort of thing that's in the air. This, in my view, is probably a second golden age where our culture is so healthy. We're provided with so many resources, incredible cutting edge technology, and all the different parts of our organization sort of work together to ultimately serve the people in need. And I think that's very appealing to people. They want to be a part of that. It has an energy around it. So I think that's the hook. That's the thing that keeps people here. Getting somebody here is one thing. Keeping them here over a long period of time because they're bought in. All right, CAP, we say that, you're all in with our culture. Speaking of culture, I mean, CAP has an organizational culture that's extremely healthy, that people feel good about. When I have new staff, I feel like Santa Claus. I get to give them these gifts, all these great things that are a part of our organization. But to expand that to the culture that we're from here, I think that CAP really excels in meeting people where they are. Even volunteers that are from other regions that come here to work, they don't condescend to the people in Appalachia. There's a great history with our people here. There's a great pride in our region here. And I think that maybe for many, many decades, we have to deal with stereotypes and overcoming those things. And I think that CAP does a really good job in making sure that we respect the dignity. We honor folks that we work with. It's an honor to be able to serve our folks. So for me, as somebody who's from this culture, it just empowers me to understand our culture and to better navigate those cultural kind of tides that are there in working with our folks. And reflecting about when I first started at CAP and thinking about our history, the way I describe it is things have always been good. Our mission has been good. Our work has been noble. Our staff are committed. It isn't reflecting and thinking that things were not good and things are now good. I think things were good and in my view, things are even better. So I've seen our focus and our corporate focus as an organization. I've seen leadership development over the last, say, decade to 15 years, where there's a real intention about developing leaders here within our organization and being very proactive about that. I've seen the education and training be even more promoted among the folks that we work with. I've seen very, very thoughtful considerations about the work that we're doing and streamlining that and making sure that we produce good outcomes. And that there's always been a sense of stewardship, always. I'm sure I wasn't here when we started, but I'm sure going back to the very beginning that we're very mindful of the resources that have been given to us, financial and the in kind and everything in between. So we're very cautious and thoughtful about how we spend those resources. But I would say the focus now is in fully realizing that our resources are our people. And when we take care of our people and we feed into our people and we give them training and we build them and grow them and sharpen them, reminds me of that old adage of iron sharpens iron. So good people will help build other good people. And the staff and the employees and the volunteers at CAP are our greatest resource. And they're out doing the work. Again, whether they're whatever level of position that they're in, they're contributing to the greater good. So I think that focus on people and on staff and on giving them everything they need, and that might mean technology. Our technology is amazing. It's cutting edge. Our accounting practices were great. Everything's streamlined. CAP does a great job at allowing us to get to people, and there are things we have to do administratively, but they do a great job at streamlining those things to make them efficient and easy and quick, so we can do that to a professional standard, but then also reserve more time to grow ourselves and contribute more to the people that we work. When I first came, Father Biding was still here. Father was on the board of directors. He had just transitioned to that position. Father was still involved with CAP, but was a little bit more distance. And my experience with that and what I was told and what I understood was that, people would come to CAP, donors would come and prospective volunteers would come and they would say, where's Father Biding at? I want to go, is he out, working somewhere? I want to go jump in a crew and go help him and do that, which was a great thing. He was a man of incredible vision. He was respected by everybody. He was one of the greatest motivational speakers I've ever heard. When we would go to Christmas events, Father would always, or Christmas parties, he would always speak. My wife would come with me, she'd be into her purse to write a check to give it. He was that, he was just incredible. He would move you to action. He was a visionary. I hear the word visionary thrown around a lot. And Father Biding deserved that term. He was a visionary. But at the same time, Father knew as he got older that Cap was very much, he described it in this way, as almost like his child, being a parish priest. He wasn't married, didn't have children. So Cap and by extension, all of us, even today, were sort of like his family, his children. And he wanted it to live on. He wanted it to have life and vitality after he was gone. And I think he realized that, if he was the singular association with Cap, as he got older and his time moved on and he became, got ill or eventually would pass on, as we all do, that Cap might pass on with him. And so he took steps along with our other leaders to prepare for that. And he sort of transitioned from the president, CEO to board of directors, and he kind of moved on from there. So I was still connected with him some. I didn't know him in the way that some of the older people at CAP knew him and worked with him directly. But I got to be around him enough to be infected by his enthusiasm and his passion and the dream that he built many years ago. And so if I'm his extended family, I'm proud of it. One of the great gifts of our current CEO, Guy Adams, he puts together the best teams, the most dynamic teams. And I was actually on that group that when we reworked our mission statement, it was a great mission statement, but it was very, very long. And so I got to lead that process of putting together the new mission statement, and was very, very proud that that's what we landed on. And so I think for us, for me and my program, and the piece that we do, CAP does a lot of amazing things from lots of different points of view, but from a mental health counseling point of view, I felt that was very close to our hearts. And everybody, when that was first revealed, all of our counseling staff said, it's perfect, it's amazing. By definition, it's our job to build hope. The absence of hope is depression. And depression is one of the most common types of mental health disorders that's out there. So it's our job to create hope, to find exception when things are bad, and to have a brighter horizon that we can point to. Beyond that, again, CAP does a lot of amazing things. I think that I always feel really good about what we do in the sense of transforming lives. Our work is transformative. It transforms behaviors. We have always known that mental health counseling and mental health services create behavior change, but we now know that it actually transforms the brain. It actually creates essentially new wiring or hardwiring in the brain, and it's demonstrable now. We can see that. So we create change in a very profound way. Traumas are healed and families are reunited, and we get to be a part of that. So our work in transforming lives is, to me, I feel very confident about it. Lots of great things that CAP does, but I think in that manner, we're right there shoulder to shoulder with anything that CAP does. And we're very proud of that. And the last part, the sharing Christ's love part, service in Appalachia. It's actually ironic that I'm sitting here because over here on my table is a quote, and the quote is, "Preach the gospel always, and if necessary, use words." So in our counseling program, that's very much what we do. We live out our faith expression through our work. We demonstrate kindness and love and patience and perseverance. We demonstrate our belief in the human spirit, our belief in change regardless of your circumstances, our belief in growth, learning new skills and leading a healthier, more functional life, regardless of what came before. So for us, we work every day to preach our sense of the gospel, and we do that through our actions and through our attitude. So there's the last component. So again, I feel very close to CAP's mission in every regard of those three major areas, and I feel like that we, in any of these offices, any day, those things are being transacted here. People are becoming more hopeful. Their lives are being transformed, and our staff are demonstrating their faith through their actions and through their attitudes. But I think for me, it's sort of an amalgamation of many, many stories that come to mind, particularly around families. So, our CAP and our program of Family Life Counseling Service, we focus a lot again on issues that affect the family, trying to either train, teach, support, grow ability, or treat issues like mental health concerns and traumatic stress and trauma and those kind of things. We've had numerous times throughout the years where we're able to serve the whole family or major portions of the family, create health and vitality and functionality with that family, knowing that they're going to go out back into the world and be happier and healthier for the work that they did here and the services they received here. That to me is one of the most fulfilling parts of what we do. It's very humbling. That's the primary feeling that I have felt for a while, to be a part of CAP's legacy, and that CAP is very much at the center of my professional legacy. Again, it without the organization and the leaders and the people that have empowered me throughout these years, any recognition, any award, any position would have been much harder to get, and I don't know what would have happened, but I know that CAP empowered me in that way to distinguish myself. And the other day I was thinking about, we talk about tenure here a lot. We talk about how many years. Most people know how many years you've been here, within a year or so anyway. And it occurred to me the other day that in my region, depending upon how you cut it, I am the second or third most tenured person in terms of years of service here. And that's a humbling thing, because I remember being in meetings where, I had 10, 15 years of experience in a lot of organizations. You'd be the senior citizen there. And with 15 years of experience, I've been in meetings where, I'm the kid, in terms of tenure, I'm the youngest person in the room. So now to be somebody who has, tenure where I'm the top 3 or 4 in my region in terms of service, that's pretty humbling. And it just reminds me of the duty that brings with it to honor CAP, to keep that spirit alive, and to remind people and to train new people so that they understand our history and where we come from. It's very, very humbling. I know that I'm part of a legacy, and that's gratifying. I know that my contributions will be a part of CAP's legacy that hopefully will live many years after I leave this earth. And it's for me, it's the greatest thing one can do in their career is be a part of a thing like CAP and to try to serve it and contribute to it as it has served and contributed me. When you think of it in those terms, I feel very small, and I also feel very mighty, both at the same time. And I think that's what CAP does for me. It and maybe for us, is that it reminds you that you're part of the greater whole, but the contributions matter, and CAP matters, and the people that we serve matter. And I hope that people in the future are able to experience this and get a sense of that. I tell people that, having been here for 27 or so years now, I am, and maybe it's me, I don't think it is. I think it's what CAP does to us. I'm more impassioned. I'm more enthusiastic. I'm more driven. I care more deeply about the organization, about my particular program, about the whole of the organization or people. We're better, faster, stronger. We're more capable. And we were great before. We're even better now. And for people, again, that are coming on board, I want to make sure that I communicate that with them in a very, very clear way. It's to be this impassioned and enthusiastic this far into my career, I can't imagine I would be this way at another organization. Maybe, I don't know, but I can't imagine that I would. And so there's something about CAP that lights a fire and keeps that fire lit so long as you tend to it and you're mindful of it. For most of us at CAP, we're able to sort of link our faith and our sense of God and our Creator and our ability to serve our fellow man and again, people that are in our culture and our environment that are in need. You're able to do that as a vocation. It's an amazing thing. You can combine and marry those two things, your sense of service, your sense of doing what we're called to do through our faith, and do it as every day when you go to work. It's an amazing thing. So when I pray and when I hear others pray and I think about asking for direction and being of service to God, to my Creator, I get to do that every day in the work that I do in a very direct way. What greater thing is there than that? I like to think that my path here wasn't just dumb luck. I don't think I just stumbled into this opportunity. The relationship with one of my mentors, one of my college mentors who came to CAP, and then the desire to do an internship in a place that sounded great, and then my exposure to CAP there, and then that person being promoted, and then me having the opportunity to interview and get his position, all those dominoes, all those things in a row. Someone else might say they were happenstance. I don't believe in happenstance like that. I think I was led here. And again, I'm given free will, so I could have blundered it and made bad choices and not follow through. But thank goodness I sit here today, and I think all those things were breadcrumbs that lead me to sitting here today talking to you, working in an organization that I love with all my heart.